Hey everybody, I'm Micheal Petrow. Welcome to another episode of the show. We have no interview. We have no debate. We have another bonus episode for you, brought to you courtesy of myself and Charles Fernandes from the Nerdgasm Show, local YouTube channel. Super fun channel. Deep dives, nerdy cuts, hot takes, everything nerd culture you can find from our good friend Charles Fernandes on his show, which if at the end of this episode you would like to subscribe to it, the link will be in the bio. So for special features, episode number 2, I know we called it the call sheet last week. We were like, that sucks. So our moms think we're special, and I have a nice beard and he has nice eyes. So special features. I don't fucking know. Anyway, special features number 2. We're a little behind on our Wanda Vision because we have day jobs. So we have Wanda Vision 4 and 5 for you, our deep cuts on what the fuck is going on. So the next episode we'll have 6, 7, and today's episode, as I say this, I just finished watching episode 8 previously on. Oh my God. I was crying. Anyways, besides the point, we have WandaVision, episodes 4 and 5. The mysterious Harry Potter show that was, and then HBO was like, no, it's not. New Resident Evil movie, the leaks on the Link series that was supposed to go on Netflix, and a ton of other crazy shit that we just, no nonsense, chewing the fat, having some fun. So that's what's on the show today. RealDebaters.ca is where you can find everything us if you're new to the show. If you're a longtime subscriber and a fan, skip this part because you've already heard it. So the RealDebaters.ca, that is everything us. You can subscribe to the show. You can listen to it. You can shop our merch there. We have skateboard decks. I think that's pretty cool. What else can you do there? You can take a look at us. You can find out that we sound a lot better than we look. You can read some of the blogs we've posted. It is an interactive experience. And at the end of it, if you feel like it and you want to donate to the cause, donate to the show, everything that you donate goes back into production, making me sound and make this better. So you can donate there. And it's like a $1, a $3, and a $5 donation. All right, $1 gets you a shout out on the show. A big thank you from all of us here. We'll just stop what we're doing and say thanks and point you out. You can do that for somebody you like, or you can do it for yourself. All of these you can do for other people if you want. The middle tier is pretty simple. You send us information about you, about what you like and what you don't like from movies, and we'll have a one-way conversation with you, and then you can come at us in the comments, and we can have some fun with that. All right, that's a $3 donation. $5 donation, what that does, kind of makes you an exec producer with the show. So you can come up with a debate in honor of you or somebody else. You can pick one rule. We'll workshop it, send it back to you. You can give us final notes and approval. It maybe not so much notes, but you know what? You will be the inspiration for it. We will pause. We will dedicate the episode to you or whatever person you want it dedicated to. And that's for $5, right? It's supposed to be interactive. It's supposed to be fun. And I hate doing this shit, but it would be great if you wanted to help us out. And if you're so inclined and you like it, that's the place to do it because it just goes back into the show here. So that's all. That's it. I'll cue the reel. You enjoy special features number 2.
Let's tidy up this tangle of film by putting it on a reel. Here is a motion picture film, 1,000 feet, 16,000 separate photographs.
Welcome everybody to the official space section of the chart.
What's the truth? You can't handle the truth. Sir, you're out of order.
I show you on order.
Motherfucking talk about. It's been 2 weeks.
Yes.
I feel enough has happened. I feel more has happened than we can probably get through. But we're gonna. Yeah. We agreed today that we were gonna try to stay on target. Now I don't want to use this stupid timer I did because I have to leave and come back from screen. I don't want to be.
Oh yeah. Don't change out anything. No.
So we're starting at 15. All right. The timer's at 15.
Oh yeah, perfect.
Oh, let's see if we can do this in a quick 25, quick minute.
Love it.
25 to 30. So, I had to read over it before I even started because I was like, so much blew out my mind that I didn't have enough mind left. So many things that were happening. So I figure let's just go through the highlights because that's you go through the buffet line once.
Yeah.
Try a little bit of everything.
Oh, absolutely.
You go back for the greatest hits.
I love it.
Greatest hit number 1 that I want to touch on is the first 30 seconds of episode fucking 4. The snap.
Oh yeah.
The blip.
That was fucking wicked to see somebody reanimate and actually see it firsthand. Wild.
Like special effects aside, that it actually did come from one of the comic books in the House of M series. One of like when Wanda's being put back together, she's being put back together like a puzzle piece instead of a
Oh my
snap where
God.
it turns to. So they actually paid a little bit of a. They were like, "What's up, dude?" Whoever did the artistry and the artwork.
Dude, and it's so funny that you mentioned House of M because like I'm kind of getting filled in. Unfortunately, I have not yet read that series and I know how good it is. But the fact that people are now making links to it from WandaVision, I'm literally like, dude, the X-Men are coming. I am so excited.
Well, I feel that you are pinpointing where this is all going to end, and I want to get there fast. So, I just think that, well, first of all, neither of us, unless you're I don't know who, unless you're Stanley, and can foreshadow like a motherfucker. Nobody ever thought what the snap was like to everybody else. We only saw the snap from our perspective watching Hulk.
100%. And it was amazing to see like when somebody does a reverse snap and your heroes come back, you're like, fuck yeah. And you know, it's like one of the most satisfying moments ever. But then to see that from the perspective of just a fucking civilian, you know, and say in the chaos of a hospital,
Yeah.
especially kind of making a little bit of a shout out to the overcrowdedness of our hospitals right now in the world, right? Like that was kind of freaky too. But to see coming back to life being just as fucking terrifying and a scary moment as leaving, and like, you know what I mean? It was wild, man. Whoever wrote that episode, whoever was in charge of the creative direction for that one, like my hat goes off to you. That was amazing.
Bobak S. Jarf.
Estrafani?
Yeah, Bobak, Estrafani, and Megan McDonnell.
Wow.
The writers.
That's awesome. I mean, I'm not familiar with either of those writers, but the fact that Disney hired them, I think is wild.
Let's see what
because as far as I know,
so she has, what's her credits?
Captain Marvel 2. It looks like, wow, it looks like she's just like,
she wrote
Captain
Captain Marvel.
Brand new? Oh, she also wrote Captain Marvel. Oh shit.
Yeah. All right. So she wrote Now in Color, and she co-wrote We Interrupt This Program. So she's coming up now that she, like here's the biggest risk we're going to take with our universe that we've created, this perfect thing that Marvel's created. And we're gonna just like to give it to somebody who doesn't have that much credentials. I'm not deep cutting here, but
I think it's
like you're fucking in the game. You're in the end game.
Yeah. Like, you know, it's it's absolutely like, it's incredible. And from a creative standpoint, especially someone like guys like us and people that are like us that are at this level of just doing what we love, it's really like inspiring, you know what I mean? And it's also very smart of Disney because clearly they're getting amazing writers, and because they are nobodies, they are building the reputation with an amazing company. And I just have to say, because Disney is such a big business, it probably cost them less than if they brought these big established MC. Like imagine if they brought on the Russo brothers, right? That's probably going to be a lot more money involved.
Yeah.
You know, and that's definitely a factor. It is Disney, they're a business, you know, but at least it's being smart because clearly these writers are extremely talented, and they're also giving them a chance to like really, you know, build that fucking resume. Like,
yeah, no, totally.
These are huge titles to be a part of, you know, and that episode specifically, to say that you were part of writing that episode, it's like, wow.
Oh, it's nuts because so much shit happened in this episode.
Yeah.
You see Monica Rambeau and Jimmy, you know, you just see like the curtain gets pulled back, right? You see
absolutely
for the first time, you get reference to Monica Rambeau being the daughter of what's mom's name?
Oh yes,
Captain
Marvel's best friend.
Yeah, Marvel's best friend, Monica Rambeau. It's Monica Maria Rambeau. Sorry.
Yes, that's what it is. Yes,
Maria Piston Rambeau, I think, is her. Like,
I think so. Yeah, and they did a good job of showing her photo from the original Captain Marvel.
Right? Yeah, they totally did.
Yeah.
So we get some backstory on Monica. We know what we've Sword. We get more of Sword. Darcy, Jimmy Choo. Like there's so much.
Yeah, and you know they also did a very good job of alluding to the fact that yes, in the MCU, Wanda got her powers from an Infinity Stone, and so did Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
So by that logic, you would think that technically, like they are evenly matched. And as we know, Marvel is like she's like probably one of the strongest out of all of them right now. I mean,
Captain
Wanda
Marvel.
obviously is arguably becoming the strongest, but we don't like she's not. We don't know what the fuck is going on.
No, we don't. But like you get to see episodes 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Through like that smart thing they did where Jimmy and Darcy are trying to figure out what's going on, and they're acting like we're like they're trying to imitate the audience, going, oh, they're writing the same questions we're asking on the wall, like those little. And I've heard smarter people than I say it, but like Marvel doesn't put like there's too much money and risk here to be put in that doesn't matter.
Yes, agreed.
And I want to come back to that because there's a spot in episode 5 that really does it, but I don't know. I just like watching Monica do her thing and go undercover. That's probably like that perspective give us,
and seeing it now makes sense, right? Especially because when she was like, "I don't remember my name," and it was like, what does that mean? And when we were seeing that at the first time, we're like, "She's a witch. She's a witch," and then now we see the real truth, and it's like, what the fuck? Like, oh man, it's. What I love about it is also Marvel is the king at really playing the cards close to the chest. Because even the way they were marketing WandaVision, they really made it seem like the whole thing was going to be the sitcom.
Yes, they like I was in the same boat.
Yeah, I literally thought I was like, maybe the last 2 episodes will be like, we'll see what's going on. I really thought they were going to milk the shit out of this thing, and they still are, but they're doing it in an even better way.
Yeah, like they didn't stray. They made you think that they were going completely sitcom start to finish.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how the Endgame trailer was dropped, where we sat there and we're like, you know, everybody was theorizing when Tony was going to die. And
that's right.
Tony's already dead in that shot because his haircut's different. And you're like, But no, like you're right. They're very smart about that. They're precise. Feige is a wizard.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, even Ben Affleck said he's the fucking best producer in the world right now. And I mean, hey, Ben's worked with everybody, so I think that's
yeah. But I bet that Ben wishes that he could have been like somebody's Johnny Depp.
Or yeah, like he wanted to be someone's muse. Man, I mean, we got to devote. I would love to devote another discussion of this, but I am actually a huge fan of his Batman. I really liked his Batman. I did.
Okay. No,
I liked that his Batman fucked people up. I loved it.
I did too.
Yeah, man. I was ready for it. Nothing against Christian Bale. That was a great Batman, but like there's something about Frank Miller's Batman that I just fucking love. I love the idea that this man is bitter and angry and he just fucks people up. Ben Affleck, I felt like did that.
Oh, he totally did. And I really do want to talk about that. But
yes. So like, yeah, anyways, that's great. We'll put a pin in that. But yes. Anyways, going back to WandaVision. Yes. It's dude, it's like I'm so excited. I will say I was a little nervous about this phase of the MCU when they first announced it, because I'm sure like everybody, there was a lot of titles that you're like, okay, I don't know much, but okay. And now this is the first real big project they're doing, you know, after I guess Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man was the first real post Endgame, and now this pretty much.
Yeah.
Because like last year it didn't happen. So
totally.
Yeah. So it's really wild to see that they're gonna start. I think we talked about this on the last episode, but it's gonna be like being in a comic book store where you can dip your toes into this storyline and these characters will show up and you don't necessarily need an origin story. It's just like, yeah, it's the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This is how it should be. You know what I mean? Like, not saying everybody shouldn't have an origin story, but if like a character you didn't expect would show up. You're not, instead of being like, wait, how does he have his powers? You're like, what? He's here now? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. No, it's I agree with you. They just have to give you a little bit.
yeah.
The just
that
writing it in. Like if they were just like accept this because making it so, it's like come on, like give me like a reason why this superhero is needed in this scene based on their power.
Yeah.
Based on who else they've worked with within the group. Like now that you've got the Justice League, you can, I mean, hopefully DC figures it out, but you know, shit in one hand, wish in the other. Tell me what fills up first. But like to be, when you start with the core and you want to bring in, like if you looked at, what was that video game where you got to be like, it was 4-player, it was Marvel. And
Marvel Alliance.
Okay. If you want to start going into,
you could be like X-Men, you could be Spider-Man, and it was like an RPG kind of thing. Like you would go around and like there was a storyline and shit.
If they started to like, that has got the almost full, it's got the main roster and then like the B roster.
Yeah, dude, for reals. Like the catalog was insane.
If you want to start doing that, just give us a reason why, a little nugget of something. Because when you just want to bring it in, and that's lazy, it's sloppy.
I agree. And like pretty much at this point, the MCU's done so much groundwork that they know when they bring in a character or introduce a storyline, it's not just going to be like bleh. Like they're not just throwing it in there. It's all part of this huge, like it's part of a huge story, and it's part of like a huge puzzle. Like it's a small puzzle piece in this huge like ensemble, you know what I mean? And they know that every piece needs to fit right.
With that, in the age of when Captain Marvel was made, and Maria Rambeau, and I just refer to her as Captain Marvel. What the hell was her name?
What's her? Carol
Danvers. Carol Danvers. Denver or Denver? Yeah. I want a Denver sandwich. Carol Danvers and Maria Rambeau. That was in like what, the early 90s, mid 90s?
Yeah, I would say it was like 93, 94.
Now, here's what's cool is that the reason Monica Rambeau exists is because she just aged to the point where she was old enough to be in Sword and experience everything. Like, brought up Captain Trouble out of one movie and put into another one. And that's what you're talking about here, where if they do it right and they sew it in at the right moment, you're like, okay, that's fine. I haven't seen that kid since Captain Marvel, but they're telling me that 20 years has gone by, so this is how old she'd be. And she followed in her mother's shoes, because eventually we'll find out in Captain Marvel, the sequel, what happens with Maria and Carol Danvers. So it all actually lines up. It just has to be done with care. And that's what Feige's superpower is. He knows to be like mic drop.
Yeah, for sure. And like now we're seeing why even more so specifically Captain Marvel was set in the 90s. You know, like
anchor it somewhere to open up the universe.
Absolutely. And it was smart of them. It was really smart of them, especially the way they ended that movie, where she's like, I'm just going to go around saving life forms. I'm going to just explore the universe, you know? So it's like, sure, she could definitely fuck off from Earth for like 20 something years. Why wouldn't she? You know, like,
true.
One of my favorite comic book series is called Invincible. And in that, his dad's a superhero, and his dad sometimes is gone. He's like, oh, I got to go save a civilization in a different dimension. And sometimes he's gone for like, I think there's one part he's gone for like 2 years, but to him, it's like, I was there for 4 months, because time works completely different in like another dimension. It's so fucked. But what I'm saying is like, yeah, why not at that point? If you're like a god, why not do that? Like, why not explore that whole idea of like be in a different universe, be in a different dimension, you know, and then come back. It's been 20 something years and all this shit's been going down. And you're like, what? Oh, fuck.
Well, and like with the alternate universes, like with what's going on, is Westview an alternate reality? Or a curated reality? Is she just picking and choosing from an existing town of Westview and like hypnotizing everybody? Or like, is she doing it because we know since Geraldine goes in and Geraldine is Monica Rambeau.
That's right.
In there, infiltrates everything. Darcy's watching. Darcy and Jimmy try to communicate with that old radio that they bring up. That was fucking awesome. But she finally gets in there and then gets shot out at the end.
Right.
And did you see the fourth wall break, by the way? Did you catch that? When they break the fourth wall?
Yes, that's right. That literally, right? That was they're genius, man. They know what they're doing with this shit.
But what's so interesting about this point is what happened at the end of episode 3 where she was shot out. We now get to see the exchange between Monica and Wanda about Ultron.
Yes.
About Pietro.
Yes.
About shit that happened. So now we get a solidified timeline of when shit is happening, which brings us to the end of episode 4 is where she convinces Vision that nothing happened.
Yeah.
Really, she shot Monica Rambeau out the wall, changed everything back.
And is that the episode that flashes like dead for a sec?
Yeah. So
yeah, that was wicked.
That was so great because that's a tape change in TV life. Like that's the blip of the reel crossing.
That's right.
But they used the blip of old film television in the story of WandaVision.
Yes.
WandaVision's power to correct the reality she doesn't like and she rejects, which I want that fucking power.
Isn't that wild? Isn't that nuts that like she is technically like doing that?
Well, and the reason I bring this up is since the last 2 weeks have gone down, there's been like, who's doing this? Is it Mephisto? Could be Mephisto.
That's right. That's right. And Agnes, what's up with Agnes?
Agnes, who is Agnes? Agnes is
what's her deal, man? Who's Ralph? Who the fuck is Ralph?
Okay, somebody I know thought Ralph was Mephisto, but the real
I've heard that. That's the one I've been reading a lot.
Okay, the real Mephisto though is played by Rafe Ivans. No, right.
I know.
Why do I never get the names right?
He played the lizard in Andrew Garfield's fucking Spider-Man movie.
No.
Isn't that Ray Stefans? Isn't that who you're?
That's Rafe. Fucking I'm from James Bond. I've screwed up my Rafes. Rafe Fiennes. Thank you. There it is.
Oh, Ralph Fiennes.
No, it's Rafe, not Ralph.
It's Rafe?
I'm pretty sure it's Rafe.
Oh my God. See, like we're both dog shit with names.
No, I fucked up my Rife and my Rafe and my
Shit.
Anyways, Rife, the brother of Joseph Fiennes, Rafe Fiennes.
Voldemort, fuck.
Voldemort, thank you.
Voldemort, fucking Voldemort.
Rafe Fiennes. Apparently, like there's a stupid way out there idea that he's Mephisto.
Really?
Yeah. If Mephisto is revealed as Ralph, what's his name? Who are we talking about? Agnes's husband? Is he
Ralph. Yeah, she calls him Ralph.
And Rife. How the fuck are we gonna get through this?
Right. If Voldemort is actually Voldemort, basically.
Yeah, thank you. The guy who played.
It's kind of interesting that they would pick because he's literally saying Voldemort. I'm like, well, it'd be interesting if he is the villain to the Sorcerer Supreme of Doctor Strange. It's kind of like, haha, Marvel, because he played an evil wizard. You know what I mean? Like, no, I'd be fine with that. He's good at it. He knows what he's doing. He's a great actor. So, like, I'd totally be okay with that. Do you think it could be Baron Mondo? I think I'm saying his name right. But Doctor Strange's buddy that went rogue at the end of the movie? Because, like, where the fuck is he at?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what's he up to?
He was I can't pronounce his name properly, but I know who you're talking about.
I feel bad too. He has a beautiful name that I do not know how to say properly, but he's an incredible actor. Like I'm pretty sure he was nominated. He definitely was nominated. I don't know if he won, but for 12 Years a Slave, he was nominated.
I don't want to try. We'll Google it in a second. But where is he? He trained. He trained, man. And at the end, he made it very specific that he was pissed off with the Wizard Order. And then even at the after scene credit, he finds that dude that he knows like used the magic to heal his legs. Remember, and he takes it away. And then the guy goes back to paralysis. And it's like, you're an asshole. Like,
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, we're on it. We're good. Man, 2013? Holy fuck.
Yeah, how does the time go? I felt
Holy
bad.
shit.
I want to learn how to pronounce this guy's name right, but I also can't play what's on the screen.
Man, it's such a nice name. Like, yeah,
I'm gonna,
Chitwatel Ejiofor?
yeah,
Chitwatel Ejiofor. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, I know I'm not saying that right, but that
I'm just gonna let you say it. I'm not gonna say it now. Like, you know, when you both. Like,
I wish I could get away with having the confidence of like that Key and Peele sketch, like Aaron. Like, I wish I could just say it, but then that would be even more offensive, probably.
Oh yeah, no, you can't do that.
No. Yeah, no. He would be like, and I loved him in Doctor Strange. I thought his character was like a little like he didn't do much, but I liked. And in the comics, especially with Spider-Man, he fucks around with Spider-Man quite a bit.
Yeah, no, you're right. He does. My comic game is weakened. Oh, I've started to pick up comics again. I'm actually rereading Alan Moore's special edition of The Watchmen.
Oh, it's so good. It's
all
so
in one. So
the older I get and the more I reread it, the more I'm like, oh, this I resonate with this so much.
Oh God, it's one thing when you're younger, and it does as your politics change when you get older. You're like, why do I
Absolutely.
Why do I like Rorschach more now than I did?
Yeah, why? Oh, I get Rorschach. He's a good guy. Like, he is.
Friends.
Yeah.
Anyways, so let's close up this WandaVision stuff because I feel we can go down some rabbit holes here, and there's some stuff.
Okay, the main big thing, absolutely, we have to discuss that. As you put it so beautifully, that $73 billion cameo.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay, so yeah, we close out episode 4 with Vision. And did you see the look Vision gave where he was kind of concerned?
Oh, dude, he knows something's up. He like looked like a hostage, like like he knows.
Yeah,
he really knows something's fucked up.
He looked like what happens when you sympathize with your captor.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Or
it's Stockholm syndrome, isn't that what it is?
Stockholm, there you
Stockholm syndrome, yeah.
The same problem I have. Stockholm syndrome, yes. It's late onset Stockholm.
Yeah, literally, yeah.
But yeah, so they peace out the babies. Then we go into episode 5 where Agnes comes in, who I believe is one of the most powerful witches in the Marvel Universe, Agatha Harkness, because they've done that fun name thing.
Yes.
If she's anybody else, like if Mephisto's not Ralph,
right,
or Rife, and if anybody isn't anybody, Agnes is Agatha Hawthorne, who I believe is more of a good witch than a bad witch in the House of M. Like,
from what it's like, from what I've read, and it seems it's exactly what the show's doing a great job of, is it's like they make it seem like she's up to like something evil, and then it's actually like she's almost like an oversight, like she's actually making sure, kind of like Raiden, like she's like making sure like nothing's getting too fucked up, but also letting things get a little fucked up. You know what I mean? Like it's like a watcher, like the Watchmen, but like also she's definitely involved. Like she's involved with whatever's going on for sure.
And I feel you can see the fear and the awkward in her. So I think I wonder if this is like a good versus evil thing where Agatha Harkness is battling Mephisto for the world and mind of Division. Like,
or maybe they're actually all under Mephisto's control, and he knows that Wanda is easy to be blamed because she's grieving and the Vision body. So it's just like nobody knows about Mephisto. So it's just all on Wanda.
So,
right? So
insert episode 5, we have like Taylor Hayward, douchebag from Sword, explaining to everybody that he's sure Wanda's a terrorist.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And you are given the backstory that which is so Superman, by the way, to steal a body and then try to
I know, I laughed so hard. I'm like, it's funny that Marvel did the fucking Doomsday and they did it better and knew what they were doing.
It's so much better. I was like, why have I heard this story? Oh, I know this fable.
Yeah.
So you've got Vision's body in pieces, which was even more interesting.
Yeah, that was interesting for sure.
Well, yeah, and we did forget to mention that like the big death vision at the end of episode 4, where she looks up from her she doesn't like her reality anymore, and she looks up and Vision's dead, just a gray body.
Yeah.
And then insert like the fights that I have to my cat's doing that thing where it wants to
Oh yeah.
piss in the litter box, so I'm gonna let her out. Give me a second.
Yeah, dude.
Hello?
Do your thing, man. All good.
You're gonna be. Oh, okay, fine. You want to go? There you go. No, you're old. Bye. It's nice while it lasted. Oh. Now she's gonna want back in like 4 minutes. Lost her opportunity to listen to us. Torianly. You've got we've figured out through episode 4 into 5 that Vision is dead, and she stole the body and she's reanimated him somehow, and he is unaware of his previous life, which means everything has been wiped. It's like a computer, right?
Yeah.
A reboot. And now we're going through the motions of trying to figure out like what's really going on inside of the house in the 80s, which was,
yeah.
I don't know how much you loved the fact that it was a throwback to like growing pains and shit.
Dude, all of it, as soon as they were doing the portrait of the painting, I was just like, oh my God, this is like childhood watching reruns of this shit. Like it was so good. They're doing such like, what I love is that when they first pitched the show and they said, yeah, it's going to be like sitcoms, you're like, what the fuck? But like Marvel isn't going to do something and not have the best team to really bring this to life. Like you can tell everyone that's working on this show, like when they're doing the 80s, they love the fucking 80s and they're doing their research, right? Like they're fans of like those shows and everything. Like, Catherine Hahn was so great in this episode too. The fucking subtle mind fuckery of like, do you want me to run my lines again? It was like, what is she doing? What is she doing right now?
that threw me for a loop, and I was like, okay, they're still, and that's where they're using like the lines from television, the lines from rehearsal, the lines from making a show in the show. Like it's very meta to play with that, and that's what they keep like every week, where they're like, we're being more experimental than we were last week all over social media. Like, oh, you are like, you really,
they are,
but this one, it accelerated the birth rate of the kids.
Oh, dude, that whole thing was fucking wild.
Here's the thing. I think what she sprayed over top of the kids when she was like, lavender.
Oh, yeah.
Calm down the beast, but I can't calm anything inside of me. Ralph sprays it on me every night. Like that thing. I don't think she was spraying lavender. I think she sprayed some sort of like pixie dust and made those grow and those kids growing. Like, do you notice how these things happen to like snap Wanda out of like, to keep her there, to keep her in the fantasy, so that as soon as she questions reality, then shit like they're like, shit's gonna hit the fan.
Yeah, like that's why, like specifically too, when Vision was like, hey, remember, he's like, why did Agnes do that? Why was Agnes? And like, she was refusing to acknowledge the fact that like Agnes specifically was like, do you want me to do my line over again? You know what I mean? She's like, oh, she probably just forgot. She just had a moment of like forgetfulness. It's like, you knew what happened was not right. Fuck. Like,
yeah, totally. And then when Vision starts calling it out and you're like, okay,
yeah,
something's strange. Something's gone awry. Circle K, right? Like things aren't what they seem to us now to Vision. Vision's in on it with us. Catherine Hahn, Agnes is in on it with whoever she's doing this shit with.
And that's the thing that's interesting is like, it worries me. Is this an illusion? Is this happening? Because like, what if the reality is, because we had that quick clip where Wanda fucking comes out of the bubble and she's like Scarlet Witched out. Like she's in her getup, ready to throw down. So I'm like, does that mean that when we see Vision, like when Wanda, more importantly, sees Vision moving and stuff, really it's his dead body, like moving around and like, do you know what I mean? Like there's so many possibilities of how fucked this wizardry is going on right now. Like, is this an illusion? Is like, it's mind blowing. Like, and what I love about it is that they're definitely going through a realm of the MCU, because I keep remembering the Eternals is like one of the other big MCU movies coming out, and that's basically like Marvel. It's like Marvel with gods in space,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. It's so off script from what they've started with.
Yeah, and it seems like all this shit, like Captain Marvel power, Wanda power, like Agnes, it like, and now the Eternals, like they're definitely going like universe rather than just to the planet.
Yeah, well, with Sword
Sure.
being space, and well, here's the thing: Sword being space, Shield being Earth, and Doctor Strange being multiverse. I
Yeah.
think the potential for cracked universes, like
Ah.
I still want to believe from what we've seen, where like you make a great point, and like here's the thing, like and I just learned this recently. I don't want to pretend to be a comic book nerd, but I know that there were certain artists who wrote Magneto in to be Quicksilver and
Yes.
Wanda's father just
Yes.
because it was Tuesday. They were like, we should do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't notice this until Smarter Brains pointed it out, that when she comes out of the force field, she pulls a Magneto move. She spins all the guns around.
Oh yeah. She
Now,
totally did.
okay, now just on a budgetary level, you don't do that. That's special effects. That's time. That's
Oh yeah, that's a specific choice to make her do that.
so.
And they were cops.
Okay, so you've got the buried thing, right? That only people who are hardcore fucking Reddit super theory feed people who don't have day jobs, obviously,
Yeah.
have like the time to theorize this shit, catch it, and be like, "Hey, look, guys, here's a third pass at this. This is what's."
And she was wearing like fucking red, which again, like Magneto wears the red. You know what I mean? Like,
And then 30 seconds later, she's back in. Cut to the end of the episode. Knock on the door after well, can't forget after Wanda pulling out her magic orbs and Vision flying up and getting into a fight, and you were like, okay, now we're back to two superheroes.
yeah,
And they broke the reality that they were in because their powers, they're seen. They're not afraid to show their true colors. Literally, Vision has gone red, and then there's a knock at the door, and you have Evan fucking Peters, my favorite fucking actor, who craves more Evan Peters on American Horror Story.
Oh yeah, man.
Come in as Pietro, as Quicksilver.
That's right.
And the best line of dialogue from Darcy going, she recast Pietro?
Oh, that was the funniest shit, man. They did that. They handled that so beautifully and surprisingly. And honestly, it was so unexpected and so good. And I love that it's like he comes in like, you know, hot shit too. He's got his like Boston accent or whatever. Like, who's the popsicle? You know what I mean? And you're like, oh my God. It was so great, man. And it was really what I love about it is, again, they obviously know what they're doing, and the X-Men are obviously on their minds. It's obviously on the horizon. And I think they're doing a little bit of origin and a little bit of playing around. Like, I don't, as much as I would love Evan Peters to be the MCU Quicksilver, I don't think he will be. But I think, again, Marvel is going to have a fucking ton of fun with Multiverse of Madness, and everything surrounding it is just going to be just catered to the fans, and why not? You know what I mean? Like,
well, the crack of like, see, I still believe that Evan Peters will go forward. Like, as much fun as it is, even if it's just for an episode, to be like, hey, we're having some fun here.
yeah.
But like, I believe that was Disney signaling, like saluting everybody, being like, we're quietly telling you right now, get ready for X-Men, which
100%, dude.
I agree with you 100% on. But the line of recasting allows for him to continue on.
Yeah, you make a very good point. It's
putting the egg on their face because they're like, how do we do this? Well, this is the right time because of multiverse. And this is, you're right. cater to the fans. The multiverse can open so many doors, literally. Like, what happens? What?
Yeah. What if a character wants to stay in a different universe?
Well, no. What happens when we're introduced to Human Torch?
Oh my God, dude!
Winter Soldier cracks a multiverse and runs into Chris Evans. What if this? I can't remember who told me this, but I heard this theory. No, it was you. It was exactly you, and you said it before. And I credit where credit's due. When we were talking about the recasting of all the characters for Avengers, like if they each got their original voice.
Yeah.
Apparently one of the multiverses. Did you say this? Where the multiverse was?
Yeah, there was a rumor that one of the multiverses would be like the scene from Avengers or something iconic, and it's the like rumor was it would be the shawarma because then they wouldn't all have to get paid because they wouldn't have any dialogue.
Yeah,
but it would basically be like Tom Cruise's Iron Man. I think Tom Hiddleston was actually auditioned for Thor originally, so like that would be fucking hilarious. But yeah, like there was a rumor that they were going to do that. And they pulled off the Evan Peters thing. I could see them pulling anything off. There's rumors even that they might have either Garfield or Tobey or Maguire's Spider-Man show up in one of the episodes. And I'm like, honestly, at this point, do it. I'm so fucking ready for that. I'm down. Why not?
And with COVID blues, man, like you got us. We're all feelinged out. We need good feeling, fake worlds. We need fun shit that we're like, you know what? Yeah. On a normal day when we're chewing through too much fucking content, we can be critical assholes. Yeah. Desert out there right now. So you're right. Sure. Perfect fucking time to do weird shit is right now.
Right now, man. And honestly, you have it all. For the first time, finally, you pretty much have it. You have all of Marvel. Why not utilize it? Like you guys will print posters. I literally have a giant poster of like a Marvel lineup. And I'm like, they can actually do this. Fucking go for it. Like what you can't do with movies, you're going to do with TV. And it sounds like not only are they doing that with Marvel, Star Wars, obviously, like after the Luke cameo in Mandalorian, which again, holy fuck, I know that Marvel is just going to be like, the floodgates are open, man. Like, who knows, man? What if they actually somehow, even if it was a quick cameo, Hugh Jackman came back as Wolverine? Like, why not?
I'm betting right. Well, yeah, we know that because that's the way they can make it happen is different universe, different.
Absolutely. They could be like Hugh. Yeah, like we don't want like as much as obviously they'd be like Hugh, we want you to come back to play Wolverine for movies. They could be like, would you be down to do like 7 minutes? 7 minutes is Wolverine. This is the scene. And Hugh Jackman always said that he could see the one thing bringing him back to the character is if it was with the Avengers. And maybe he said that because he thought it would never happen. But the fact that it could, why not just have a quick fan, like cater to the fans scene? And like he is like, he'll always go down as like, he's like the Sean Connery of Wolverines. Like, you know what I mean? Like he'll always be, they could have like 10 more Wolverines before I die. He's going to be the Sean Connery Wolverine for me. Like,
that's the best way to explain.
That's the only way my brain knows how to like say that is like, he'll be the Sean Connery for the Wolverines, I think.
I'm going to steal that. I'll give you credit for that on a tweet, but I'm going to steal that. Hugh Jackman, the Sean Connery of Wolverines.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Anyways, yeah, I can't wait for more WandaVision madness. Like, where
it's going? It's crazy. 4 episodes left, I think, which is fucking wild, especially with the way the last one ended. That's why I'm like, give me whatever fan service you want to do, man. I will eat that shit up. I'm loving it.
I wanna try to get more than just 3 things in today, but between the two of us, I don't think that's
I just want to say one quick thing. Yeah, I do hope next episode they go 90s more Full House and like Quicksilver is Uncle Jesse, so he's living in the house but like in the attic, and he's gonna be like the Uncle Jesse, and like, you know, something could happen where something's gonna fall and Uncle Jesse comes down and like puts the vase back on the table and goes back up to the attic or something ridiculous. Like that would be really funny, because I'm like, does he live with them now? Like I hope he does.
or Or how's this? Like, you do have an Olsen sister.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be fantastic if they figured out how to somehow convince Mary Kate and Ashley to jump on WandaVision and be two other
Because you're just
Wandas
gonna
to
be
fuck with her,
evil witches in the background.
right? Like, if they're ever going to do anything as a family, it'd be stupid. Like, even if they don't talk, it'd be stupid for them to not be like, you're going to get paid like $5 million for this.
I told my buddy, I'm like, at this point, I would love if Evan Peters was like, "Hey, sis, Dad's here too," and then Michael Fassbender walks in and he's like, "Hi, kids," or even Ian McKellen. Imagine if Ian McKellen walked in and he's like, "Kids."
That's totally what. Those are the kind of things that they can do. Now, is it too
For sure?
For sure. I don't know. Let's bring ourselves out of WandaVision. I want to talk to you about this.
Yeah.
I'm an Xbox guy. I have been brand loyal for a long time. You have a PS5, which I'm patiently waiting for the day where it's safe for us to play together.
You know what? I think it's actually I think more than ever that is on the horizon, where it's not going to matter what system we have. It'll just matter about the game, which I'm fucking pumped for. I know there are some games that do cross platform play, so I'm excited when it's just like that's the standard, so we can really be like, let's get the same game.
Yeah, no, totally. And instead of I'll spend $80 to play a game with you, I won't spend $700 to buy a system to play with you.
No, for sure. And like, again, a system is a commitment, right? And like, it's brand loyalty, which I respect. Like, people love to be like, Android versus Apple, Xbox versus PlayStation. I'm like, man, at the end of the day, it's what the fuck do you want to use it for, and what do you play? Like,
so have you played Cyberpunk yet?
No, man. Funny enough,
why you haven't?
So I don't know if it's back on the PSN network, but long story short, after the whole debacle and CD Projekt Red saying they would offer refunds, Sony doesn't really do that a lot. So Sony got fucking pissed and they took the game. Like, they said they would honor the refunds, but until the game was ready to go, they took it off of the digital store. And I have my PS5 now, and it's just a digital, like, it's the digital version. So I'm only playing digital games. So I don't think I can even get it to play as a digital version. So like, I haven't checked, because the last I saw, they were like, we're not going to put it back on until it's like fixed and people aren't fucking shitting their pants about it, which is right. Like, totally understandable. I have an app on my phone. Let me just quickly see if I can even look up Cyberpunk on the PlayStation.
Because for those who don't know, like, video game making is a pretty. I only have secondhand knowledge, probably fifth when I really think about it, but it's a pretty intense environment, because you've got to make this product that's a one-off, right? It's like selling a car or a coffin, right? You've got to and then you've got to make as many people love it to then hook them with, like, the Blizzard mentality of, we're not going to give you a new game, we're just going to give you an expansion pack to play. So making games is tough. Cyberpunk, its backstory for the person who's not into video games but might find this interesting, was they were one of the first ones to pull a big name actor into their world in Cyberpunk 2077. They took Keanu Reeves, and Keanu Reeves played a character in the video game. So it was like getting Keanu Reeves to act for you.
Yeah, and like, it wasn't a gimmick. Like, his character was pivotal to the storyline. So yeah, it was like a big deal.
Huge announcement. He came out. That was where Keanu Reeves was like, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you.
Yeah.
He was like the Oprah of I love you. You get a card.
Yeah.
And then and the game just fucking flopped. Like, it came out, they rushed it. It had glitches for days. People wanted their money back. Like you said, Sony was like, well, we don't have the game on here, so we can't give you your money back for a thing.
And I just checked, and you can't even, I look it up and it doesn't even show up. Like, it's not on there. So you can't buy it digitally. I think if you go to a retail store, you can probably get the, like, physical disc if they have any left. I don't know if they made retail stores pull it or whatever, but yeah, man. And like, the company, like CD Projekt Red's just getting fucked now.
Oh God,
it's getting worse and worse for them.
That's the developer?
Yeah, it's CD Projekt Red. I'm pretty. Yeah, that's the developer. And so the first thing I will say is like they fucked up big time. Nobody can argue that. Bottom line is you have 8 years to make a game, and this is the shit that you put out. It's embarrassing. So they do deserve that. However, I will say they have admitted to everything. They never like they apologized right away. They were giving refunds and whatnot. But the bottom line is that yeah, like they fucked up royally. Now I think they're just it's like now it's just kicking a dead horse what's happening to them. They're getting hacked. They're getting, you know what I mean? Like so
Yeah.
I don't even know if this game will ever properly be fixed at this point. And
is this the ET? Like the Atari ET?
yeah, we're gonna find all this shit buried in the desert. Oh my god. Dude, it's a mess and it sucks because I haven't played Witcher 3, but I know it is one of the most acclaimed games of all time. Everyone I talk to has had nothing but amazing things to say about it. So I know that they have the reputation and everything, but it sucks that like one project is really like it's ruining them. And I definitely started off where I was like, they deserve it. But at this point, I'm like, I always love a good comeback story and I want to give them the chance to like fix the game and come back. But after this fucking hacking, man, I don't know what's going to happen.
I don't know either, because essentially from what I could tell from the article was that if they have the source code,
yeah,
they can do whatever, like they can make the game, right?
They can make the game and like literally they can, yeah, like they have the literal, like basically they have the blueprint and then some of the game, which if this is true, that means the developers don't have it. So whoever has the source code can literally make the game whatever they want and like put it online for free. And then at that point, why are you even going to continue making that game?
This sounds like the opening scene of Tron, the sequel.
Yeah.
Like Tron Legacy.
Dude, it's like I was talking to Claudia about this and I was saying like, you know, the real kind of scary thing that's happening in the background too, like obviously what is mainstream news is still when somebody tweets something really fucked up and whatnot. But these hackings are getting really scary. Like the fact that they took the source code of their two games and sold it online. I'm like, so what does that company do?
Like okay. So the happy ending here is these hackers are so mad that this game was rushed, and then there was shit against Sony, and now shit against obviously. Like I don't know how much CD Projekt Red. I mean, there is. I don't know where to put blame for something like this, but I can only imagine that it comes from the top down because that's usually whose head rolls first, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like
a bunch of CEOs making promises and vice presidents.
Yeah, or forcing like saying no, the game has to be done by this quarter, and they just say it's gonna be. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, and I mean I've seen some small documentaries about how these guys go into coding withdrawal and their brains are all fucked. Like being a video game designer now is like, I mean, it's always been stressful, but like I can fucking only imagine now what it must be like with the competition that's out there. Like it's just a fierce fucking market. But
yeah, like I talk about this with my buddies all the time, and like one of the big things is they need to get a union. Like they have
yeah.
Like it's, and you know what's funny is a lot of people don't know this. It's the richest, like it's the most money making industry in the world of entertainment. So like it destroys the movies by like billions of dollars.
What did Blizzard make on World of Warcraft? Like just oodles, and like they're printing money with that game.
Literally, and they still make expansions. I'm like, who the fuck is still playing this?
Yeah. No, I know somebody who played so much of it that they had a growth on their lap.
Dude, I 100% believe that, man. I know people that are still like, when's the next Diablo coming out? And I'm like, that can only be our generation that's playing. Who even knows about Diablo? Like, are you kidding me?
Who's still operating a system that small? Anyways, so in like this, is this something you think, like I'm a hardcore gamer, so I'm only this doesn't happen to me because I play on a much superior system. So like
ooh, love it. Love it.
I mean, I can only understand what it's like to be duped and to be sucked in and spit out with like nothing. Like you don't even get your $99 back or whatever at some point. Like, did you pay for it? You paid for it. Now you can't play it, right?
No, you know what? I was one of the lucky ones. I never bought it. I never pre-ordered it because you know what happened was when I knew I was getting my PS5, I had the mentality of like, all right, man, you're going to try and go PS5 as much as possible. And I knew CD Projekt Red was making a PS5 version. They just said it's going to come out later than the PS4 one. So I was like, you know what? As much as it's going to kill me, I'll wait. Even if it's a year after, whatever, I think it'll be worth the wait because the game looked fucking incredible. And then this happened, and I personally was like, holy shit, did I dodge a fucking bullet?
Well, I did the same thing with Battlefront 2 or Battlefront. I can't.
Oh yeah,
Battlefront 1. I was very much against it because I heard the loot boxes they were just.
They were awful. It was really bad. It like ruined the game.
Well, and what they were doing was they took the gameplay from the first one, which I guess they realized that playing heroes is what everybody bought the game for. Like nobody wants to be a stormtrooper 37 times in a row. So
yeah. So, but then they were like, "Hey, you could be Luke."
Yeah.
It was just stupid. It was like I think I saw. It's like be Luke if you play 400 hours, or give us $20 right now. And it's like, what the fuck?
That was really bad. They weren't selling $5 stormtroopers. They were just selling the heroes. And then it's like, okay, but you always want to be Luke. Then it's not like the gameplay. It's diminished returns because the gameplay, you're always Luke. You run through Luke always runs through shit and wins. Like look at Mandalorian. We haven't seen winning, right? Like, so whenever you rate Luke old or young, he always wins.
Yeah.
So I don't enjoy slaughtering people over and over and over again. I like the challenge of the game, but just hanging that over you and video games in general, just eventually getting to the point where it's like, this is fucking gambling. Like I need a credit.
It is. And I
have an account.
I love that they even try to argue it's not. It's like, no, it 100% is, you assholes. Like it is.
Like if you're a parent, you don't know, and all of a sudden you make your kid the account, and then they're online, and they're like, "What's only $5?" 75 later, you bought all these $5 games, but your parents are making a mortgage payment.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe kids need more immigrant parents, but if I ever asked my parents to create an account for me to buy video game, you know how hard it was to get my parents to give me video games for Christmas because they just fucking hated them? These parents that are creating these accounts for kids, fucking lucky kids, man. My dad would always be like, until you could figure, he'd be like, yeah, when you have your own money, you can buy whatever you want. I'd be like, fuck.
I was like, what are you talking about immigrant parents? But your dad was an immigrant. Okay.
Oh, my parents were like hardcore immigrants. So like the idea of being like, hey, mom, dad, can you create a PSN account for me? And can I use your credit card to buy games? That was a backhand. Like that was, what the hell's wrong with you? You know what I mean? My dad's like, I'm not working hard every day for you to fucking use my credit card for video games. Are you insane?
Oh, that's like funny.
So sometimes when I read about those parents being like, oh my God, I gave my kid my phone and I have a $5,000 bill. It's like, why'd you give him your phone? My dad would fucking lose his mind on me if I tried taking his $1,000 phone. Like, what the fuck?
But on the flip side, you can totally kill at Candy Crush now.
Yeah. No, but like, Dad, I'm going to get in a tournament and I'll win.
Yeah. I'll plan now. Don't worry about it.
Dad, I'm going to make it all back.
Ever heard of League of Legends, Dad? That's going to be me.
But yeah, no, I always laugh when I would read those things because I'm like, come on, man. Those kids shouldn't be even allowed to do that shit. I wasn't.
Cut them off. Cut those little fucking ankle biters off. Moving on.
You gotta earn it.
HBO did a thing where they were like, hey, there's gonna be a spin-off series of Harry Potter, and we're like, a TV series of Harry Potter, and then they were like, yeah.
Oh man.
That's all they said, and everybody's been like, okay, so like we know these people aren't coming back. Like we know we're not gonna see the big three anymore. So obviously it's gonna be a different
That's right.
story. But recently, there are no deals in place. There are no writers. There's nothing. So I can't add anything to what everybody's already speculating about. That's what Entertainment Week
So literally, does that mean it sounds like someone was at a meeting and he's like, basically the meeting ended where someone was like, oh, do you guys want to do a Harry Potter show? And someone's like, yeah, I'd be down. Okay, cool. We'll talk about it in like 4 years. Okay, cool. And then that guy was like, I got to tweet my buddy who works at fucking TMZ. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right?
How do you make an announcement like that? And you're like, but we have absolutely nothing.
The best part of this whole thing. Like, it's such a big now here's what I think might be happening with this, because this is where all the fun weird stuff kind of starts. Like, we've nerded out. Now we can kind of go over some weird bullshit. By the way, CD Projekt Red, I do hope you get your back. I mean, as much as you fucked the dog and somebody made a mistake somewhere and they should be fired, I do agree that at the same time you tried really hard to make a thing that everybody liked, and it's not your fault and you shouldn't be hacked for it.
Yeah, I agree. Look, like, absolutely take a risk creatively. It doesn't always plan out, but like that doesn't mean that it's like throw them out. They're done. You'll never work in this town again. Like, that's not right, because it's like me saying every single fucking episode of the Nerdgasm is perfect. And it's all like, you know what I mean? There's a random episode I could pull out where I was like, damn, if somebody only saw this episode, I get why they'd be like, this is dog shit.
Oh, totally.
Right?
I completely agree. And like, you did deserve a second chance. I mean, this is a mistake. Yeah. Nobody did anything wrong here. They just didn't do enough right. But
I think exactly that.
Back to this HBO thing. I think they're doing a Disney thing. I think they're doing the whole, like, what would happen if we said this? What's the crowd response like?
Get the buzz going. Yeah.
Like, this could be two guys being like, hey man, like, you want to do a Harry Potter thing? And the guy's like, hey man, let's do a Harry Potter thing. Like, let's just throw it out there and see what happens. Because we can always say it's not being done a week later. And if it didn't be, and the reason I think this is because somebody somewhere online a week or two ago was like, hey, if we remade Edward Scissorhands, Timothée Chalamet, or Tom why do I never remember his name? Spider-Man.
Tom Hiddleston, or no, Tom oh my god. What? Every day I see this kid. Tom there's so many Toms.
Okay. It's okay. We've never claimed to be professionals.
Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield,
Tom Holland. There you go. It's Tom Holland.
Tom Holland. My God.
I remember it was Tom Holland.
That was embarrassing. Tom Holland.
Very embarrassing. Like, how do you fucking call yourselves nerds? Can't remember.
You fucking nerds.
Guys,
get a name right, you nerds.
Everybody, we have fucking day jobs. Our brains are spent after 8 hours a day. So,
yeah, man.
Hey, if we can't remember everything. But this is what I think they're doing.
What matters is the love we have.
Yeah, my point. It's okay. My point is I think they did the thing where someone was like, "Hey, Tom Holland or Timothée Chalamet as Edward Scissorhands in a remake." And then what happened on Super Bowl weekend? Timothée Chalamet was in a commercial as Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah, that was wicked.
Stupid wicked, because it was Edward Scissorhands' son, and Winona was his fucking father.
Yeah,
I think
that was wicked when Winona Ryder actually showed up, blown away.
I think this is what HBO is doing. They're like, let's garnish what we can. It's the Snyder Cut. It's the Snyder Cut phenomenon. If
part of me
get enough online, it'll eventually build up so much buzz that they'll have to do it.
And that's what the internet, like I was telling my buddy, like, it's sad that unfortunately the majority of the light being shed on the internet is toxic. But the internet should be used exactly for this. Like, if I was a company and I had the rights to a series, I would purposely say, leak this out.
Yeah.
We are thinking of doing a live action, blah, blah, blah. And then the crowd, you literally get free, like, customer feedback, essentially. Yeah. And then you go from there, man. Like, it's a no fucking brainer. Like,
no, it's free. Like, you have to pay them for their time. You have to get their survey. You have to,
that's right.
Your focus group is time and money. It's free.
Yeah. Oh, I wanted to say quickly on the Harry Potter thing. I honestly wouldn't hate if they devoted a season to each book, like 7 seasons for 7 books, I actually would be cool with that. I think that'd be worth the like new imagining cast, the new imagining of the world. I would be into it because they could definitely do things that the movies say lacked. Not taking away from the movies.
Oh.
I'm still a fan of the series, but there are some things that I'm like, why didn't you do this in the movie? You know what I mean? And I feel like in a show, absolutely.
I think you should call HBO and be like, I have the idea that you are lying. That you have. Like, oh, hang on. You still there?
Yeah, man, I'm here. Oh yeah.
I did the thing where I can't make the thing go bigger.
I like your desktop. That's nice.
Thank you. That's it's like right outside Colony and Portage.
It is, eh? That's beautiful. Holy shit.
That's not my photo. It's
still nice.
Thank you though.
Makes us look nice.
Yeah, my background of a painted white door. You have a better background than I do. You have all the comic books and shit on the wall.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
there.
Soon enough I can
Dude, hell yeah, man.
Anyways, so with our long list getting shorter, I wanted to bring up was, and you mentioned this one. This is a great story too. So Nintendo reportedly canceled a Zelda Netflix series after it leaked. So like here in America, I guess leaks are, like we just talked about, good and bad. They give you some feedback, and if you want one thing for misdirection, that's great, because that's what Marvel did for a couple movies. They were like, totally, this is happening, and then you started focusing on that, and then you forgot you were investigating them to find out what was happening on Winter Soldier and whatnot. So those can work, but this leak didn't work. Apparently, first of all, this has been worked. Like they've been trying to do this since 2015.
Yeah, man. I remember when they first announced that. I was like pumped.
And so this starts kind of making some headway. Then a Star Fox claymation thing starts to happen.
Yeah, man. And apparently that guy was already working on it. Like,
yeah. And so you've got these two things from Nintendo lore that really do, like, like they really do. Besides Mario, I can't think of two Nintendo groups and characters that come to mind more than Star Fox and Zelda, right? Like,
yeah, for sure.
So these are great flagships for Nintendo to start making some serious television shows. And then somebody at Netflix leaked it, and then Nintendo was like, fuck you all, we're not doing anything.
Yeah, man. Like, it's like, I don't know. It seems like Nintendo, like, I watched a show that Netflix had over Christmas called High Score. And it's like,
it's great.
Phenomenal show. Absolutely phenomenal. But that episode they did on Nintendo takes a lot of pride, and it does seem like it is just like kind of in the Japanese business culture. They take a lot of pride on, like, they have to be the ones that make the calls on everything, and nothing can be told to the public unless it's on their terms. So they did not see the leak at all how you and I would see it. They saw that as like betrayal, you motherfuckers.
No, that's the thing we don't have over here. They have honor.
Yeah, they have honor, and like honor is it's basically the foundation of, like, you know, their work and culture, and I love it. I absolutely love it. But yeah, it does not surprise me that it didn't work out. Like, you can't pull that shit with Nintendo. And like, look, man, clearly there were people working on shit. They're like, nope, fuck it. We'll pay whatever Netflix gets pissed about. We'll just give them that money. Like, whatever.
Yeah. No.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. And I mean, I'm upset that there's
like I'm
about it, because like Star Fox was one of my favorite fucking games.
Dude, and claymation Star Fox, I'm like, fuck yeah.
That would have been fucking wicked.
Yeah, it would have been really cool.
So
that's the thing is that we're angry, and I think we're entitled to as fans, because it'd be different if Nintendo was like, fuck it, we're gonna go take it to HBO or whatever. But I'm pretty confident Nintendo will be like, we'll never talk about this again for 30 years. And they will. Like, they'll literally let it burn and die, because they're like, we don't need it, you need us. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, fuck. So there's a good chance that we may never ever see these projects.
Yeah, and I mean, even with video game movies being on the rise, and well, shows in this case, those would have attracted. Those would have been like the dad watching with son shows. Like you'd have
Dude, 100%.
four eyes on the screen because it'd be like, I played this when I was a kid, and then your son would be like, well, this is I want to play the new, because then they would make a new video game based on the claymation, right?
Yeah. Well, and it was smart because it was like I remember they were marketing the Zelda show as Game of Thrones for families, which is cool because it's like invested television is basically what they're saying, right?
Yeah.
So, and then also that would be competition for Netflix against Amazon's Lord of the Rings show that I assume will probably be family friendly. I don't know, but it would still be kind of competition of, we have our own fantasy show of a big property. You guys have a fantasy show of a big property. You know what I mean? And like, that's how business works. Like that's how these studios work. So I'm sure Netflix is really like, motherfucker.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, I think The Sandman's going to be Netflix's Game of Thrones copy.
That's true, hey? And like that cast they pumped out looks good.
The reason I say that is because they have Game of Thrones cast members in it, but that's the point. No, I just love how you're like, Game of Thrones is family friendly. I was like, extremely family friendly. Like they fuck each other friendly.
Yeah.
What would you say that show's about? Oh, it's family friendly.
It's all about family.
It's first episode of brother and sister fuck after they kill it.
We got to keep it in the family.
Seriously, literally keep it in your sister. Jamie, keep it in your sister. I have to tell me twice. Seriously, come here. Anyways, enough about.
Oh, soon it's happening. Oh, I'm excited.
So, boo to no Zelda and Starfield.
Yeah. Hopefully, again, like, take a page out of Sega's book. Sega finally, got their head out of their ass and they did something with Sonic and it paid off. Like, just shop it to another studio.
They did.
And
all they had to do was dental work.
Yeah, right? And like, look at that. Another thing. They took the customer feedback. They took the fan feedback and it fucking was worth it because the redesign was perfect.
Jimmy says all the time, whenever we talk about Sonic, he was like, anybody who complained about that they have to go pay and watch it because he was like, okay, we can't, this is not the sword we want to die on. This is not the people we want to argue with because these are nerds. Nerds will.
That's right. And they did it for us. They did it for you.
Yeah. So you owe them the $15 to $20 wherever.
I agree. I totally agree with that.
To see it.
And it did well, so that's good. I'm glad. Like, I am glad because could you imagine if they did all that shit and it still flopped and people were still like, fuck this movie? It'd feel like, oh, that sucks. Yeah. But I mean, how many times do studios get that feedback and they're like, no, fuck you guys. The movie's coming out the way we visioned. It's like, fuck you.
So this Chucky thing that you.
Oh my God. That was amazing, dude. I wish, like I told Claudia, I'm jealous of the people that got that Amber Alert. Just like the reaction. Imagine if you could see a compilation of people getting the Amber Alert. Oh my God, would that be funny?
I heard about it in passing. I was like, there's a Chucky doll involved in an Amber Alert. Yeah. I didn't know a Chucky doll started an Amber Alert.
Yeah.
So walking around with it, I'm just guessing someone was walking around with a Chucky doll and a Karen came by and was like, real. That you're stealing a child, and this person's like, no, this is a dummy from an incredibly popular B-movie horror scene. Yeah. This is not a real thing. And then she had just figured out how to dial faster than any other human and got somebody on the phone. Like it's just happenstance, right? It really didn't. Like, how many people did this go through? I think. I wonder.
So. From what it sounds, I mean, the county, like, they had to make an apology. So obviously enough people got it that it was like fucked. And I read the Amber Alert, like somebody posted it, and it's clearly a very big fan of the Chucky series because the Amber Alert was not only describing Chucky, but the Amber Alert was for his son that they introduced in like Seed of Chucky. So it was saying that Chucky abducted his son from the show, and they or from the movies, and they even showed a picture of like. So my theory is it was somebody hacked their system and did that. Somebody who purposely like left in spite or something, or a buddy of mine who is a like he writes like tech script. He said sometimes when they're testing out new systems, that's what they do is like the guy who's making it will pick his favorite character and he'll make the full detailed, and that's what they show for training. But it's like a simulated, but I guess you could fuck something up and you could actually make it go live. And I really want to know if that's what happened, because that is fucking amazing. That's amazing.
I'm reading it right now because like I was like, okay, this is, I kind of purposely didn't read it because I'm like, that's exactly what this is. And let's see if I'm right. I'm way wrong. This is hilarious.
Dude, it's hilarious.
The alerts claimed that Chucky, a red-haired killer doll, had abducted his kind-hearted son, Glenn.
Yeah, Glenn, that's
so what you're saying, like, so a training program accidentally went live.
That's like,
on
that
an
is
Amber Alert, and they may have been doing a training session, and okay, so this is the nuclear bomb in Hawaii of Amber Alerts.
100%. That whole thing that happened where the sirens went and people got fucking, yeah. It sounds like as far as I know, the like police, county or whatever made an apology, but they haven't officially said what the fuck happened. Like I couldn't find a reasoning. So a buddy of mine was like, I bet you that's what happened. That was a training simulation to test out the system, and the programmer accidentally made it go live and it actually sent out. And he probably caught it right away. So he's like, oh, fuck, close off. But it sent to enough people that people were like, what the fuck? And like, it's hilarious. Like, seen in overalls, it describes everything he's wearing. It says seen with a knife, like a kitchen knife. It's crazy, man. It's so funny.
This is the most, I mean,
how does that happen? Watch, they're going to announce a new Chucky movie like next week, and they'll be like, that Amber Alert was the best press we ever had.
I mean, I completely understand how that could happen. I'm not sitting here going, how does it happen? I, at work, have programs that are live that certain things do other things, and they're all like redundant.
Oh, yeah.
But like other things you can be in, like we're in training, and you're like, hello, Dave.
Yeah.
You know, but like this is not something to fuck around with.
No, like this isn't something that you can make that mistake with.
But at the same time, it's really funny that,
dude, it's
like
hilarious.
And like, yeah, you totally would. Like if you're entering the training simulation and it's probably got a space that says like interphrase here.
Yeah.
Or color of alert here. Like you just fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
I was like you said, he's probably a huge fan of Chucky.
And he's like, I'll be entertaining for this class. We'll do something fun, or at least, you know.
Yeah. That's exactly what.
Yeah.
And it's so harmless. And then it's not. And then people are running around like, there's a killer doll on the street.
God, man. Imagine someone who saw that and was like, I've been preparing for this for years. I knew that shit was real. Get to the fucking cellar. He's like got a game plan and everything. That would be fucking hilarious. Like,
totally would be. Sony's Resident Evil reboot movie gets September release date.
Yeah, man. I'm fucking pumped for that shit.
Did you play Resident Evil, like the original ones?
Yeah, so I played them growing up. I think the first one I ever actually finished all the way from not being too scared wasn't until Resident Evil 4. So that was like, but yeah, like I played Resident Evil 1 was too difficult. I remember like Resident Evil 2 had the fixed camera angles, but Resident Evil 1 was like bad. Like you keep hitting a table and you get like into a wall and shit. But Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 Nemesis were like my two that I played growing up. And yeah, I was a huge fan of Resident Evil 2. That was one of my all-time favorite shit my pants games to play.
So when you saw the first movie and you were like, this is nothing like the video game,
Yeah. Oh man. And then
Because what this is this is going back to, because I never played the game, so I wasn't really disappointed when I saw it, and everybody was like, this is not the video game,
right, right.
but this one is going back to, where the hell is it here? What are the name?
Yeah, it's from what I read, it sounds like
there's characters Claire Redfield and Jill Valent.
Yeah, they're starting with Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, Raccoon City in 1998.
Yeah, man. So one, I think it's great because it's been long argued that, and I think so, like rightfully so. I think Resident Evil 2 is probably the best game in the franchise. And that's everyone's favorite because Resident Evil 1, the whole game is in a mansion. So the first movie got it right in terms of location. It starts in the mansion, and then Umbrella is underneath, and you don't ever see outside of the city. It's just going deeper in this facility. So yes and no. The first movie did that because the first game stayed in one location. What was so awesome about the second game was it fucking opened up into the city, and Raccoon City is now taken over. So you're now going from this like underground facility or whatever, this mansion, to now the city. And the movie definitely tried doing that, but again, fucking even the second movie missed the ball so hard with that shit.
Yeah. Like it really, I don't, and I mean, it took me until like the third or fourth movie to be like, oh, so like when I watched people play the game, I was like, you were in the basement of a facility? Like you looked like you were just running around in boxes. Like it was so rudimentary, but like I get it, zombie game, whatever, all that stuff. And it's just one of those things where people were like, it's the Assassin's Creed thing too. Like video game making movies out of video games. I mean, if you go back as far as Super Mario,
yeah, man. Oh,
this is more than it hits.
What I find too is that, especially with the video game, I feel like if the main leads, the producer, the director, and like pretty much the whole creative team, if the whole creative team has not played the game inside out, knows the shit out of the game like a Dave Filoni of it, what are you doing? Why are you doing it?
Yeah.
Like, obviously the studio's doing it because they're like, Assassin's Creed made how much? Let's do the movie. But like, you're only basing that on money. Like, you need to creatively get someone who's like, I have been obsessing with Assassin's Creed as a movie for years. Read my script. Not, hey, so-and-so directed a movie like that's close to Assassin's Creed. Let's bring them in and see what they would do. Because you don't know how many times I see like directors talking and I'm like, man, you don't even really know the source material. Like, you know that it's important to the fan base and you're like, you say the right things like, I want to respect the fans and blah, blah, blah. But then when you see, it's like, dude, come on. Like, I can tell your heart is not behind the passion of like, it needs to be. That's why like with something like The Last of Us TV show, the huge thing for me is not only Craig Mazin, who's he's one of the best writers, but you got Neil Druckmann who's coming in too. And that guy, if he's literally the director and creator of Last of Us. So who better to come on and tell you how to properly do this shit, right? Like,
That's probably gonna be the video game finally to break. Like, it was supposed to be Halo, but Halo just got too fucking expensive.
Yeah, Halo got so expensive, and then it just got fucked over with producers being like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, this is too much.
Master Chief is too much.
Yeah.
And so like, but I feel that was supposed to be like, okay, we're gonna do it right.
Yeah. And
they hadn't done that, then it I think it kind of opened up for anybody else to be like, well, they didn't do it, let's try it.
Yeah.
If you don't like, people buy these things and play them, and I mean, yeah, they're not as, well, I shouldn't speak, I don't get as stupid crazy into a story that much. I mean, I enjoy the story of my character, but I enjoy a movie way more than I enjoy the character in a video game. But if you can long form the game and create more experiences for the character, yeah, you've got some fucking fans who've always wondered that. So
yeah,
if you do that right, you can really fuck it up, and then like that's a fan base you don't want to alienate.
Well, and it's I feel like The Last of Us you would love because one, it is completely character driven, and what's amazing is that you can tell Neil Druckmann has more the vision of a filmmaker than say a game developer. And what I mean by that is that those games are basically I don't know what the right word ever is to use, but they're created in a way where it honestly is like a film. Like it really is. That's why it translating into a TV show is really exciting because actually bringing in then him along with filmmakers is going to be unreal. You know what I mean? Because I think obviously it's very different from having to develop a world than actually using the world you have. So I don't know. It's really exciting that there are studios that are taking these projects seriously, like even Netflix with The Witcher. Like that's a really good example too of how how well they're doing. Like they're catering to it really well because they're now doing games where I think like they're focusing on good character driven stories. Like the action is an element, obviously, but it's got a character and a story, and that's what it needs to be at the end of the day to be a good TV show or movie. Is without that real story character that's going to develop, because you don't have the filling in with me mashing buttons on a controller, me experiencing actually like hunting this beast or whatnot, right? So that's why like you brought up Mario. The problem with fucking Mario is everyone's like, okay, so first of all, they got to be real plumbers. Like, why on earth is all of this? It's like, and then they're like, we can't have them eating mushrooms and getting really big, but they'll have the super shoes, and that's how they jump up.
It was such a
right.
It was such a Bob Hoskins.
Bob, like man, John Leguizamo. Oh god, dude, when they're rocking the Goombas in the elevator,
it's so bad.
It's so bad, right?
I love to watch it, but it's so bad.
First of all, I don't know why Mario needed to have a live action adaptation. Why wouldn't they do a full length animated feature? Like, I don't understand why that never happened.
Yeah, and they could have done it in like 64-bit.
Dude,
the original Minecraft.
That would have been amazing. And even if they wanted, they could have Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo come back and do the voices for them.
100%.
What was the best part was Mario, Luigi Mario.
Mario, what?
That was their names. I'm not even kidding you. Look it up. In the movie, his name is Mario, and Luigi Mario. And they're Mario's plumbing company.
Oh, the Mario. So instead of being Mario Senior, they just Mario.
Mario, and he's Luigi Mario.
I know.
It's so stupid.
Wow.
Yeah, like again, like I love that Nintendo was fine with that one, but then the Netflix Zelda one, they're like, you sons of bitches leaked it. No, I guess nobody leaked Mario, but that obviously didn't help either.
That just opens up so much. Like I don't even want.
That's the worst writing. I don't even understand it. Like I don't understand it. I don't get it.
People and everybody was like, yeah, sure, that's good. Totally. That's not bad grammar at all. Like there's so many copywriters and people who like have a basic understanding of spelling.
Yeah, like just what?
Sure, we want this. Sure, we want.
They're like, no, man, Nintendo, right? And they're like, yeah, Nintendo.
Like, no, they'll get it. We have a great script.
Yeah, like seriously, yeah.
All right. Well, I'm glad that this Resident Evil thing sounds more. Like,
yeah, man, it sounds like
I have no problem with Resident Evil. I think it's a great series. I'm gonna say this wrong because I've been saying everything wrong tonight, but I'm just gonna use her first name. Mila is fucking Lilu. I love Lilu.
Oh yeah, Mila Jovovich. She's a badass chick, man, and I love her action. Like, I love this, like, persona that she's created. She's like a John Wick style. Like Keanu came rocking out action, whatnot. Mila's always been badass since Fifth Element, everything, right? So she's always been great in them. It's just like, yeah, like for it being called Resident Evil, for fans that love the games, some of the movies were just like actual punches to the face sometimes.
Yeah, no, and I from day one, I've been like, this is a great. I always go back to watching it. I love watching her kick ass. I don't know what it is.
She's great, man. She's awesome. Like she just knows how to like just ooze badass. Like she just knows.
Like I feel that she's kicking her trainer's ass. That's
without a doubt.
Like he's just there for her to practice zombie killing techniques on.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously.
She doesn't train her anymore. She's done like 5 of these. Like
What?
I wonder how much of the training she's gotten, because like doing a series like this with there's so many crazy moves, because it's a video game, right? You're adapting a video game. You've got a lot of play with like what these characters can do. I wonder how much she's retained, where if she was walking down the street and like someone tried to jump me, she'd just like, no.
She's like,
I just wonder if she's like, you know what I mean? Like, is it instant? Is she
totally? Just like how you would actually think like taking those lessons would be. It just the instinct comes in and she's like, pop, pop. And then like, disarms them, fucking like just makes them just cradle. Like, oh, I would hope so, because they're probably training with like the best like trainers and fighters and shit. So like I would want to know. I literally would tell my trainer at the end, I'm like, I know this is for a movie, but can you show me how to kill someone with my bare hands?
You would ask for that. You'd be like, can you show me the 5 point?
Yeah, the 5 finger. Yeah. Can you help me? Can you show me how to kill Bill? I want to know how to do it.
Show me that like 7th degree black belt shit, right?
Yeah.
What's the crash course to the heart technique? He taught you the exploding palm heart technique?
Oh my God. I know Uma Thurman probably never forgot that.
No. And I wonder if you do it. Like, it's not one of those things where you can like do and be wrong. Like if it works.
Yeah.
Like if it works, you shouldn't do it, because you can't be wrong.
The only way she's doing it, fucking sneeze happens and she like, oh, I've never anticipated this would happen. Yeah,
totally.
But even then it would be like, sorry, it's not in your heart, it's in your brain. And 3, 2, and then you just like
cheers to Mila. I'm glad I have a multi-pass. I have.
Yeah, there was rumors for a while that they were going to do a female Expendables and Mila was going to be like was going to lead the team.
Oh, I watched so much of that.
Yeah, and I think they were saying that like Ronda Rousey's character from Expendables was going to be like the character that like tied the worlds together. So I guess she would fight on this all-female team, and then she'd make a joke like, we're better than the guys team I was a part of. And they'd be like, what?
They really can do it, because finally, it's taken way too fucking long, but finally there's enough female action heroes.
Dude, yeah.
Choose from. And actually so much more interesting than men, because they exist in different realms. Like, can you imagine picking Liv Tyler from Lord of the Rings? Like,
dude, for sure.
Or like, and like Hela from Thor. Like, can you?
Yeah, man. Fucking Sarah Connor. Like, bring in OGs. Like, you could bring in Sigourney Weaver.
You bring in Ripley.
Bring in Sigourney. You could bring in who else? Sigourney. Oh man, you could bring in OGs just like the Expendables. Like, have the like you would have like the younger up and comers or whatever. But then go back to like our old school like OG female like spies from like 80s 90s, man. That era would be great. Even what's her face, Bridget Nielsen from like OG Red Sonja, bring her back as playing like this, like, oh, she's the tank, and you could have her on a 50 cal just going. That'd be wicked, man.
Okay, I totally want to recast the Expendables on the show.
Oh, dude.
Doing what male version, right? So who's the Sylvester Stallone character?
Yeah, dude, I love that.
But like not who is Sylvester Stallone, but who's the leader of the group, right? Like
yeah. Like who plays those roles in the dynamic of the group?
Who's the female playing the
Yeah.
strong leader? Who's the female action hero playing the weapon specialist, right? Like,
Yeah, man, for sure.
and build it that way
Yeah.
from all the other, because there's so many, like,
Dude, weapon specialist, you could easily have Linda Hamilton, like Sarah Connor.
Connor's a weapon specialist for
Dude,
sure.
without a doubt. And I don't know about you, I really liked the most recent Terminator movie they made. Dark Fate was fantastic.
Can't let myself watch it. I'm too
Really, hey?
Terminated.
Dude, it's me and my buddy were talking about it, and he was like, dude, even if it is good, it doesn't matter because it's just done. It's been so bad for so long. I'm like, I know, you're totally right. He's totally right. But Linda, she was great. She actually was like, she was awesome. She did a great job coming back to the role for like 30 years or whatever. But yeah, man, I would love to see a female Expendables. I think that would be fucking wicked.
Yeah, no, that's what I've
Kate Beckinsale could come like that. She'd be great too. There's so many options they could have. Like,
okay, yeah, I really got to think about this one because I want to pick like the best of the best.
oh my God, Pam Grier. They got to bring Pam Grier back.
From why is it eluding me? I'm thinking Tarantino. What are you thinking?
Oh, Foxy Brown. Yeah, Foxy Brown.
Foxy Brown. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, I think the movie he did was Jackie Brown.
Jackie.
But I think she was Foxy Brown was her character in the 70s. But yeah, dude, 100% Pam Grier is a classic.
My Rafe and Rife problem is happening again.
Yeah.
Brown's right. I've just got my
Dude, but I'm pretty sure, is it not spelt Ralph?
I don't know anymore.
I thought it was spelt Ralph and then it's said differently, like the Favreau thing.
I screw that up too all the
that
time.
thing pisses me off because the names are both spelt the same, but one's Favreau, one's Favre. What the fuck?
Yeah, nomenclature isn't a strong suit of mine. I do want to close with some theories. Actually, there's some theories too, but like this just happened. 2 people passed away.
Oh yes.
And one, honestly, it felt like one we knew was Dustin Diamond was the first one from
sudden, but like whenever you hear someone has stage 4 cancer, it's pretty much like like I hate to say it, but you're pretty much on your way out.
It just really sucks that like how he was known for like his hard partying and shit.
Yeah, and like,
but it's scary because like that's what he was known for, but that's also what I think this is why I have cancer is because of all these like bad hard partying days, and then you're like, whoa, like he went from announcing that he had it and saying this is why I think I have it to 3 weeks later passing away, and you were like, man, that's a hard life if that's how quick you went.
Yeah, and I even read that he told his girlfriend that he didn't want a public like gravestone or tombstone because he thought that it would get vandalized, and he didn't want that to like haunt his family, that people would vandalize his like. Isn't that sad? Like, I'm even like, that's sad that this guy's dying and he has to think about something like that. Like, don't make my tombstone publicly that people can visit because it could get. And I look at what he did and like his history of getting, say, really just turned away in Hollywood, and compared to like other celebrities, and now what he did was like fucking nothing. Yeah. Like the bar thing was not great. Don't get me wrong. If you're with a crew that stabs somebody, I don't care what the circumstances are or whatnot, that's fucked up. But as far as I know, he didn't stab anybody. He was with the crew fighting, and somebody in his crew stabbed someone. That fucking sucks.
I think he's subject to bad fuck, it's child acting, man.
Yeah, it's because he was Screech. And no matter what he did, it was like, the children, oh, you're thick of the children, you're rotting the children. And I think that's what it is, because like the sex tape thing, he humiliated himself. Like, I just feel bad. I just feel bad for him.
I think that comes from, I mean, who fucking knows? It's all speculation, but like, I mean, the more and more you look into the darker, deeper, seedy side of Hollywood, the more around that era.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying, I can't say if shit's gotten worse or better or neither, but
No, but it's a shitty industry.
It's nonetheless, and like it was turning into burn, and you just hear stories, and then you're like, man, that was a show of kids. Like,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
just sucks that the averages are so high. So you're like, and like, I did watch the remake of.
How was it? How was it?
It was bad. But
Yeah.
from Screech's perspective about how he was singled out, and because he played the nerd, he was treated like the nerd.
Yeah.
And these kids were like, he was not well liked. So I mean, it sounded like he had it rough.
Yeah.
It's not a way for anybody to, I think, just bad decisions and probably being taken advantage of, and a child actor and being put through the ringer as a young kid. Like,
yeah. And at the end of the day, like, this is a man who wasn't, like, in my opinion, was very young still, and he died terribly. Like, it does not, and even with whatever fame or whatever you have, it's still sad for anybody to have to go through that. And I mean, for me personally, like, and I'm sure you as well, Screech was a big part of my childhood, and I identified with Screech.
Totally.
I was a fucking nerd, right? And Screech was, you're right, like, even in the show, it was always like, oh, Screech is the worst. You know what I mean? And obviously you'd watch the episode and you'd feel that way too sometimes. You'd be like, damn it, Screech, you ruined everything. But what he played and what Screech resembled, it was a very big character for a community of people. And in that time, 80s and 90s, it's not so much like now where nerd is starting to all of a sudden become cool, or like everyone's like, we're all kind of nerds because we all kind of like the same stuff. It's not necessarily being, oh, you're reading comics. Like, when I would tell someone I was reading comics, unless they were a nerd, they'd be like, you fucking nerd. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't something where it was like, what comic are you reading? If someone said that to me, I'd be like, what? Right? So Screech really, the character he played, it was, for me personally growing up, it was a big character. And no matter what that guy did in his life, I'm thankful for the character he played and for what that character was. That's a big part of the reason, like, the nerdgasm is like trying to take the word nerd back. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but bring a little bit of, like, it's not a bad thing to be called a nerd. Like, right now, I love it. I love being a nerd and I take pride in it. So, it's
doing the thing. It's taking the negative out of.
Yeah, it's exactly. And again, I feel bad that Dustin Diamond, unfortunately, was a huge part of Saved by the Bell. Nobody can argue that. Anybody that watches that show, Screech is absolutely a huge part of it. And it's unfortunate that he got kind of like the thing that he made and made him, it just like everybody got to come back or make cameos or this and that. And it was never, Screech was never on the table. It was never even like, don't even reach out to him. You know what I mean? Like, it kind of makes me think, well, I wonder why he did some of the things he did.
Well, and like I learned, and you find out these stories later in life, because the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air special has the whole To Vivian story.
Yes, that's right.
And there was a lot of stuff, and they both aired their shit publicly, which was pretty impressive.
Unreal.
It is in front of a camera, so as soon as you tape something, you change it. But like,
yes, but the fact that
like it looks as sincere. So
yeah,
it's interesting to see some people able to, and others are not. The other, rest in peace, Dustin.
Yeah, rest in peace, buddy. Like, for reals. Like, you did a service, and we appreciate you for it. So yeah,
had a beer, I would drink it. I just finished all my.
Somebody's pouring something out for him somewhere.
And the other one who passed away, who had 91 years on this planet.
Oh man,
Canadian. He's ours.
Canadian great.
Canadian great. Christopher Plummer, the plumber. I was listening to.
Oh man, damn. Christopher Plummer was. Yeah, he's just something else. Like, it's why he's a great. There was something about the charisma, the energy that man brought to every role, that it was just. The movie that I saw that made me really fall in love with him was Beginners.
Oh, such a great story, isn't it?
Oh my God. And he's so good in it. He's just so goddamn good. And like, I would have truly believed he was that man in it. Like, that's how great he was.
Well,
And I think he was already in his 80s when he did that, which is insane. Like,
he did All the Money in the World reshoots.
in what,
he-
6 weeks?
No, 2.5. He
Oh
did
my God.
did 80 scenes in 2 weeks.
That's crazy. And you know what's funny? Somebody our age in the industry would be like, I need more money. This is ridiculous. I need more food. Like, I need this trailer. And here's Christopher Plummer being like, I'll do it.
89.
Crazy, man.
89. Like, he was like, I'll get off the couch.
Yeah, I'll do it. Why not?
I'll show you.
Knives Out, man. Knives Out, he was so good in that movie.
I'll Von Trap you. Right? How about, what bad guy? I'm clearly not a Trekkie. What bad guy was he in Star
Oh yeah, I'm not a Trekkie either. I had no idea. And when I saw the photo of him in the gear and everything, I was like, fuck yeah, man.
You like that guy. But like then his small roles like 12 Monkeys. Right?
Yeah, that's right.
Pitt's dad, or Inside Man, where he's the bank owner.
Oh, that's right. He was so good too. That scene, and it's like one scene at the end.
Yeah.
And he's like amazing.
Yeah, Clive Owen's is shit in that.
Yeah. Yeah. I love Clive Owen. He's a great actor. Children of Men. One of my faves.
So good. Riddle me this. Why can we remember the names of people we're not supposed to remember?
Oh, yeah.
People we're actually talking about.
Yeah.
Tom Welland. No, not Tom. Tom Hiddleston.
Tom Holland. Tom Holland. Smoke weed every day, kids. That's all I can tell you.
So death and I mean, I get it. They're just like everybody dies, but these were A people who me and you emoted with when we were kids, because we were like nerds being celebrated on TVs. He's in the front line cast, like he's important. Even being stuffed in a locker by AC Slater, but like Christopher Plummer is like the shit.
Yeah, man.
It's just shitty when like they make things that you respond to at different points and parts of your life, and then when they die, you're like, oh, I relate Christopher Plummer to being a Klingon.
Yeah, it's what, like, it's why these things get grouped as art, and I totally get it, is that you get a connection from it, and it's exactly what you said, is that it's like sense memory. It's like Christopher Plummer, boom, that leads me to this memory. When I think of Christopher Plummer, this role, bam, this is what comes into mind, or like what we were like, anything we were talking about. When I think of this, it reminds me of being a kid, and I remember where I was when I was watching this, or like the TV setup, and like I'd be in my brother's room or this and that. You develop a connection with this, and it creates that memory and everything. And like Saved by the Bell, like Screech, I remember it would be on in the mornings, and then it would be on after school, and you would come home, and sometimes it'd be the same episodes. You're like, I'll switch to something else. You know what I mean? And like that right there is more important to me, is the memory that I had of that from my childhood, than like what Dustin Diamond did in his personal life, and like,
yeah, I mean,
that's what it comes down to.
I couldn't agree with you more, so I'm just gonna. So we got those guys. Before we close out here, I want to theorize. Probably not the right way to say it. I want to speculate. I saw a clip of Garfield in Atlanta, and that's where they're filming the third Spider-Man.
Oh, shit.
I mean, he's there. Nobody knows why he's there, but there's no reason for him in Atlanta while they're filming Spider-Man. Do you think we're going to get all three?
So I've even heard, I heard a rumor, and again, I think everyone's just super fucking excited with WandaVision, but I've heard a rumor that Garfield and or Maguire could potentially cameo in WandaVision that would really directly lead into like Doctor Strange, Spidey 3. And at this point, with Evan Peters coming back, I am open to anything. Like, I would be down for it, but I think It's 100% happening. It's 100% going to happen, even if it's a quick scene or like, you know, whatever. I think it's definitely it's going to happen.
It's the only place where it makes sense to happen because
Absolutely.
all things lead back to we had the stones.
Yes.
We used the stones. We ripped the fabric of time and learned that Back to the Future doesn't explain it properly. Which
Right.
every time Hulk explains it, my brain melts just a little fucking more. Like I get it.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, I can it. But
Right.
like, then there's I fucking lost my train of thought. There you go, kids. That's
smoke weed. Well, so like
where was I going? Help us all out.
Okay, let's backtrack here. We went with the fabric of time. So
yes, thank
the
you.
fact that like we got Garfield and Maguire.
I can't talk about time travel and then not like fall. Yes. Okay. So the allowance for Maguire and Garfield and Holland, because I got to say his name 3 times to remember his fucking name.
Yeah.
To be in the same movie is allowed through all things multiverse. So
yeah,
you can bring them in because you can say once the stones were used. There we go. Back on my time travel idea.
Yes.
Once
There we
the stones were used. Once they ripped the fabric of time, then they were used again to reverse it. And Captain Marvel makes the best explanation that there is like way more universes out there than just yours.
Yeah.
Just because yours was put back on track, that doesn't mean the one happening in a different universe in the same timeline wasn't ripped open. So this is where the ability for Garfield and Maguire to come back, because those are, follow me now, because I might lose myself. Those are different universes, right?
Yes.
Holland's universe, Maguire's universe.
They're all different from each other.
But they're all owned by Disney now, right?
They're not owned by Disney. They just have a partnership with Sony, so they can use it.
Yeah.
They can use it. Yeah.
I remember.
But you're right. They can use all 3 universes because Sony owns all 3. So yes, they can.
So they're allowed to use all 3.
Yeah.
So the multiverse in WandaVision cracks, and we're giving a Fox version of Quicksilver.
Yeah.
Says we can't have 2 Sony Spider-Man.
Why not?
Why not have Warner Brothers, whatever? Like, well, not Warner Brothers because they rights different, but like what I'm saying is staying within. If all of your universes have now been purchased and the rights are there.
Yeah.
This is the multiverse ripping of time.
Absolutely.
That allows.
And if you don't do it now, when the fuck are you going to do it?
Yeah.
When?
It's too late if you don't do it now.
Absolutely. And what better way again for Disney to say Marvel's home? Like Marvel is essentially home.
We've arrived.
Yeah. Like you can do, and like, yeah, man, I absolutely. And you know, what's funny is we talked about this in the last episode, but when Kevin reads Reddit or forums, he must just be like, ha, 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 because he's like, I have the next 20 years planned, you sons of bitches.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he probably, for all we know, they had this agreement of the Spider-Men like last year. They knew that it was happening, you know?
Yeah, we find out in real time. But like,
yeah, exactly.
He could be like 50-year planning shit.
For sure. And like, for all we know, Garfield's there for reshoots. Maybe they filmed something already and he's there to do a reshoot for something. Like, we don't know how ahead Disney really is. Like, how long ago did they film Evan Peters' cameo? Was this something they filmed last year? Was this something they filmed like, who knows, maybe like fucking 2 months ago? You know, like we don't know how fast and what the schedule is like over there with Marvel, but what I love is they're definitely, again, it's a business for them and they know the best way to make the most money is cater to your fans, and they're doing a fucking sweet job of it, man.
They are. Endgame is the perfect example of what happens when a studio goes, Kate, we'll listen to the people who pay for this shit.
Yeah. And again, I get it that Disney is like, you know, there's the argument that they're evil, they're a corporation, absolutely. But I will say from a consumer, that pays for their product, I'm pretty satisfied.
Yeah. No, I have yet to send my order back.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So, and yeah, like what I love too is they're also raising the bar of television hardcore. Like, again, I bring it back to Luke and Mandalorian. I don't think anyone ever expected something like that. Now that they have Marvel, it's like, let's see how, who knows? Again, I really think Doctor Strange might show up. I really think he might show up at the end. Because there's no way that he's not like Yoda somewhere and he's like, oh, my heart, I feel there's a disturbance in the wizard force. Like, you know, there's no way that he has no idea that Wanda's doing this. Like, there's no way I can believe that he has no idea, you know?
And here's the thing. You mentioned a really good point. We don't know how long ago Evan Peters was shot.
Yeah.
The result of, after the result of Mandalorian, and how we all just like, I cried, man. I had my lightsaber,
dude. It was
like stoic and shit, and like I just had tears. Like I flicked the lightsaber on as soon as he started to fight and made it a little dramatic here for myself.
Dude,
like, I was fucking bawling.
I was like, "That's the Luke I remember. That's the Luke we love. It's Luke. Oh my god,
it's fucking Luke. I don't want curmudgeony Luke." And so it just, so I really do think that Evan Peters' shit was shot very recently.
Very recently. Absolutely.
That, because they went, you know what? Whoever they had there before, we're going to find out one day. Like at the end of this, they might do the round table they did for The Mandalorian where they all sit down and talk about shit.
Yeah.
So if they do that, I really want to know what they had planned if it wasn't. Like, did they try to maybe bring, because if they're playing with this is a great way to end how we started. If they're playing with Vision being able to only be alive in there, they could have played with Petrow only being able to be alive in there if she somehow got a hold of him. So maybe they thought Petrow, and then they were like, nope, we need the fun Quicksilver. We don't want serious.
Well, and for all we know, what if they filmed several cameos? Or like had a different one, and then after what happened with Luke, they were like, "This is how we'll do our first little X-Men thingy." Boom, Evan Peters. You know what I mean? Like,
well, they filmed
had another cameo for all we know. Like, we'll find out in an interview. They're like, the original cameo we had was Wolverine, but then we thought Quicksilver, and it's like, what? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
well, just remember, you can have universe and cracked universe and cracked universe. Like, can you imagine? The multiverse opens up our first glimpse of Ryan Reynolds sitting down with the script writers for Deadpool 3.
Dude, yeah, man, and he's reading it out of a book, like sitting in front of the fire, and he's like, "Oh, hi there," you know what I mean?
No. He's got a copy of the working script, and he's taking a shit, and he's reading it.
Oh, and he's just like, yeah, that's funny. Turns the page.
No. He wipes his ass with the script.
He looks around and he's like, "Oh yeah."
Exactly.
Dude, I'm so excited for him to make his intro too. What if he shows up? He can very well show up in WandaVision. They could even be like, "Wrong set. I'm looking for the mansion. It's got an X on it."
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I think, I don't know what Kevin Feige defines as power, but if he's unsure, you have it.
Oh yeah.
Or Prince Adam of Disney, you have fucking power.
Oh yeah, and remember too, he's producing a Star Wars movie. I'm very excited for that too.
Yeah, no, that'll be his crack. And I mean, if he can do, so he's done Marvel's his thing. Star Wars is his next thing. If he can do the big three, if he can jump to Pixar,
oh my god, then he's just laughing.
Then he has to just reanimate Walter Disney and bring him back.
Yeah, literally. That's like that's the last step. Now you can retire.
Yeah, sir, you have done the impossible. All right, man. This has been this is
great.
We covered more today. We went.
Yeah, we definitely did, and we less time too, so not bad.
No, I appreciate our endeavors. I appreciate our goals. We set some goals, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, hell yeah, we did.
Them. So again, another one of these in the in the can. I can't think of anything
Yes.
else to put it in right now. If you want to follow us, you just have to go. What's the link? How do you search your YouTube channel to find the show?
Honestly, I would say the best thing to do is just type in CF bomb, all one word, and I'm like the first thing that comes up.
Yep, there you go. And the link's going to be on this again too. So if you're confused, then just click on the Nerdgasm. And
Yeah.
because I'm a dummy, so I like to make things easy just for myself, and in by proxy, they're easier for everybody else too. So
Well, yeah, and who will ever argue it being easier? So, like, come on.
yeah, I'm a lazy piece of shit. People should appreciate my laziness.
Yeah, god damn it, my rat.
So that's where you can find everything Nerdgasm, to find everything us. The link is there as well too. TheRealDebaters.ca for all you newbies out there. We will see you in another 2 weeks.
Yeah.
More shit's gonna happen. More WandaVision.
Oh yeah, we're gonna probably have fucking so much to talk about there.
Yeah, we'll both whip our WandaVision dicks out.
Yeah.
I'm sure I will get a Vision boner. I'm sure something Vision is coming.
I think Vision and I think Wanda and Vision are gonna throw down legit. I think we're gonna get more of that throwdown.
I'm excited. Yeah, I think. I'm excited to see, because Vision apparently gets right to the he has his shit. He has his Truman Show moment.
Yeah, man, his Truman Show moments have been great. That was great. I can't wait, man. It's gonna get so much better.
It is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you in another 2 weeks for another special feature. I have been Micheal Petrow, and this has been
Charles Fernandes.
And we are gone.
We are bye.